Greetings, Star Citizens, and welcome to Flight Deck. This is a weekly podcast about Star Citizen and other gamer culture topics. I'm your host, Linkstatic MDK, and with me, as always, is Paper Thin.
Yo,
Today's topics we have Around the Verse, episode 38, Year 3 subscriber perks update, monthly report out March, 10 for the chairman, episode 59, and patch 1.1.1 on the PTU. So obviously that last one's the most exciting, but there was some cool stuff in the other things. So let's jump right into Around the Verse, episode 38. Um, this one was 34 minutes and 57 seconds long. We had the Empire Report, which it seems like at this point they're just going to make that a regular thing, right?
yay.
I don't think they're going to take that away.
They
So
shouldn't.
clearly, more people than us have given them good feedback, saying yes, keep this going. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if when the PU comes out, this becomes like its own show
that would
where
be
they just like cover stuff that's actually happening in the
like
game.
this week this org did this type
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be
This
sweet.
NPC group has decided to do blah blah blah. Yeah.
Exactly.
That'd be cool.
I would.
So the three quote unquote fake stories that they had was jump point for ransom, explorers demand exorbitant prices, so it's a new jump point somebody has discovered to the ESOL system. And they're talking about whether or not the UE is going to pay the price and whatnot.
Right.
I feel like that probably will actually happen in game, but it will be more between players than it will be players and NPCs.
Right.
I don't know, maybe you can like make NPCs pay you money for jump point information. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you couldn't. I don't know.
Yeah. Second story was kids in space. Children raised entirely in space have an advantage. Well, duh. Except wouldn't they have brittle bones?
I'd assume they're in artificial gravity.
Yeah, but there's got to be some detriment to being born in space as opposed to a planet. It can't be that
Well,
just.
so if you're born in low gravity, yes, your bones will be more brittle, as well as you'll grow a lot faster.
Right.
Like your body will get really tall.
Well,
Um,
and not even that. Like, you think of all like the microbes and crap that are on planets that you don't have in sterile space stations and ships.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, your immune system is just not exposed to as much.
Or maybe you're exposed to more because you're going like planet to planet more often. So you,
Well, it depends. Maybe I guess if you're on like a space station that's a big hub
right?
for people coming from all over the place, you get
Oh yeah,
exposed to
you'd be.
quite a bit.
I have AIDS, syphilis of three different planets, and it's like wow,
I'm immune to all of it.
I'm immune to all of it. That would be, you'd be like a super carrier at that point, though. And then the last one was Spectrum Show returning. I wonder if this was like an homage to Disco Lando coming back and then like working at CIG with their monthly thing, or if it's an homage to Jason Pugh's new show that they're doing, or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speculation done. After that, we're going to the intro news portion of Around the Verse. They had the Vanguard concept release, which they mentioned. I think everybody's seen that sexy beast of a ship at this point. So, dude,
It
it
is
looks
quite.
so good. I
Yeah.
saw on Reddit they had a like side shot of it, and then they had like a side shot of an eagle or something, and it looks the same, like for like the silhouette. It's so awesome.
It does look really really cool.
Or like a hawk. I think it was a hawk, not an eagle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I like that. I like that design in general. Just yeah, I think I loved it. I wish I had the money for it.
You have the money for it. You just don't want
Well,
to spend the money for it.
that's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm the same boat. They were mentioning that funding had hit 77 million, but it's I think now 78 million. At least when I checked it yesterday, it could be 79 million already. Who knows?
Yep.
Yeah. They're working on the server backend because, like we mentioned last week, the game's too dang popular and keeps crashing. For anybody that's tried the multiplayer, you've probably seen some of that.
It's much better now, I think.
Oh yeah, like I was able to get in a couple of games. Wreck is like almost too easy to get on Vandal Swarm,
Yeah.
which I think in the next patch they're actually going to address and make it a little harder. So
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
yeah, and then they have Meet the Dev series being revamped to be more in-depth discussions, and this is where James is actually going to be doing his own separate show on Meet the Devs, which they did have some of it, but it sounds like it's going to be more than just those standard questions. So we'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah. And then Spectrum News, we have Santa Monica is working on the Gladiator updates. They're making it flight ready, which is sweet. And then they're also with the Gladiator going to be introducing torpedoes, so a new missile system. Which,
Awesome.
I mean, torpedoes to me probably means it's going to be better for like larger ships, right?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
dogfighting. So
Yeah, they're probably not going to be able to maneuver very much. They're just going to be straight line with a lot of speed.
yeah.
Can't really turn.
Although if you hit a fighter with one, I feel like it should do a lot of damage. You
It
know,
probably does.
like a point blank boom. I'm gonna die anyway. I might as well take you with me and launch my torpedoes in your face. You know, one of those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen the first episode of Black Lagoon or the second episode?
I watched
When
the
they
whole
drive-
series.
Yeah, you've seen it. Okay, so they
Yeah.
drive that boat up
Yeah.
and hit the helicopter with a torpedo.
The most ridiculous moment ever.
So good.
God.
Anyway.
Yeah. And then they're also talking about introducing a new game mode called Pirate Swarm, which is going to be like Vandal Swarm, but it's going to be against UEE ships, and so we'll give them a greater variety of stuff for you to dogfight against. Plus, I think they were also with that going to be revamping the AI and making it more various on what type of ships and combatants you'll come against. So
Awesome.
yeah, that sounds really sweet. And they had a new producer whose name I forgot that they introduced when they did. I should have wrote it down. My bad.
I didn't think about it either.
Yeah. Then they went to Illuphonic, where Todd Pathy, their new design director, who worked on Crytek and God of War Ascension, has been there to help them tweak the FPS module. So by tweak, he means this gun needs more range, this gun needs a higher fire rate, this is not a good enough cover mechanic, blah, 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 blah. So,
Cool.
hopefully if he worked on, those things, he would.
I haven't played God of War Ascension. I played some of the first one, but
Well, like everybody always talks about how great God of War is as a game to play. So, if he's coming at it from like, let's make this fun gameplay, then I'm all for it.
yeah, for sure.
Yes. They're also working on gun animations that includes recoil, spread, bullet rate of fire, etc. They're like tweaking the gun animations to make them look better. Adding a new mode to Astro Arena. It's Sadaball. Which is like EVA soccer with guns. So
Yes.
they had me at EVA soccer with guns.
Yes.
That's perfect description for something I want to play.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of like the first thing I thought of was Griffball from Halo.
Yes.
As what if it's half as fun as Griffball from Halo, then it's
God, that was so fun to play.
like there was a good month where I think we only played Griffball because it was so like intense, especially
It
against
is.
good teams that know what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they're also doing some research and development into zero-G movement, network predictions going along with that, etc., to make it kind of look better. So, yay.
Okay.
Awesome. Any reactions to any of this?
Awesome. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, in fact. I've got two of them up.
Oh,
2
wow.
of them up.
Who has
I know.
2 thumbs and loves FPS in space? This guy?
This guy.
Yeah. Then they cut to Austin, Texas. It was Montreal working with them on the Nixlevsky landing zone. They're in the gray boxing stage, so that means they've gone past their initial design and they're starting to flesh out the details. And like, this will be here. Here we'll have a column. This will be a doorway.
I want pictures.
Yeah.
Give me pictures.
Maybe subscribers have pictures. Wouldn't that
They
suck?
might.
They probably do.
Probably do.
They get all that nice concept art stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Jerks. Just kidding.
Just gotta subscribe,
are
man.
awesome.
We just gotta
I know,
subscribe.
I should.
Ugh. Well, and then we also have mining operation prototype is being mocked up. They've got the cargo operator mock-up done, so that's the guy who like pulls in asteroid parts and with the tractor beams. And then there's also an asteroid fragments mock-up that's been done, and scan operator mock-up, which he was saying uses like missiles that you shoot at asteroids and like give you back data and all this. That sounds so badass, actually.
It does.
Yeah.
It sounds really fun. Like this, the more they talk about the mining, the more excited I get for it.
Like
This is
I
really
almost
cool stuff.
I almost want to play just mining. It sounds
Oh, yeah.
like it would be so interesting. But there's going to be so many roles like that where it's like, I want to do just this, but I also want to do just this, and I want to do combat. So it's,
Oh, it's nice that you have a lot of variety.
yeah, no
So,
kidding.
Yay.
And like it's not easy either. It's not going to be I press a button and I just like power level my skill up. It's actually I have to pay attention to what I'm doing even if I'm
Yep,
really good at it.
exactly.
So, yeah. Then we had Foundry 42 in the UK. They're working on the Shubin interior. Shubin is that space station that they've had some concept art on. They're building the art assets, so rooms, etc. Um, with that, they're trying to make it all modular. So they'll have like large rooms, small rooms, pipes, walkways, blah blah blah. And then with that, there's the white boxing, the gray boxing, meshing, all that being done, and then they're also going to be adding textures. So it sounds like quite a bit for space stations is going in.
Yeah,
Wow, yeah,
yeah. There's quite a bit being done here. I really like that it's modular. I think that's a really smart way to approach it, and I think it'll save them some time.
oh yeah, because you can go, okay, we'll add this room, and then we need another square room, and then we need a long hallway, and then we need another square, yeah, and then you
Right.
can break it up a little bit better,
Exactly. It'll be like building something in like Minecraft or Besieged almost.
right?
You know, where you got your squares and you just gotta fill them.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they're going to allow players to do that eventually using their same modular approach. Like when we get player ships and
God.
stations that are created. That'd be cool.
Did CR hint at that being a thing, like distant in the future in one of the 10 for the
Like,
chairmans?
distant in the future, I think he said that, oh, we might eventually allow like player run outposts on planets and stuff like that. So I wonder if
Right.
with that it will be, oh yeah, you can choose between the 6 types of landing pads, and then you can choose what type of building you want next to it, and you can choose like defenses to put around it. Don't like that would be my assumption on where they'd go, but who the hell knows? I mean,
I
it sounds like they want to have players do a lot, like even own factories and things from, you know,
Right, and
stuff
I
you said.
assume that this is just like part of it. That this kind of modular building will be part of it.
God, I hope so. That would be so good.
Yep.
Um, where was? Oh yeah. Also, the two guys that they had talking about it were mentioning how they're doing the same pipeline essentially for all these buildings and stations as they use on ships. So they're trying to keep it consistent. Um, one of them was working on like the larger room, which is going to be less detailed, meant more for like hangars, and you can fit the smaller rooms, which are going to be more detailed inside of them, and they'll even have exterior shells, so like you could like look at them from the outside and then go in. All it's so good, so good.
It is.
Um, and then they also mentioned that their team is currently split between asset builders and world builders because they're trying to do so much. So.
Right.
Then from here, they went to Subscribers Corner, where they mentioned some of the special stuff for subscribers that they're getting. So, like more rec, test pilot badges, etc. It looks like this is a new segment that they're doing with Alexis. I don't know if it's going to be like a every episode thing or if she's just going to be, once a month. This is what we've got for subscribers.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was coinciding with the year 3 subscriber perks update thing or
I don't-
what. I don't know.
It seems like it, like
Yeah.
because that came out like soon after. So.
Right.
Yeah. Then we had James Wright interview. He's a senior engine programmer, so he creates a lot of the core technology that they use in the game. Currently, he's been working on creating support for a lot of the larger maps, so like solar systems, giant ships, all that stuff where you're just gonna be like looking and you can't see the end of it, that type of thing. Um, so part of that has been the challenge involved in taking something that works really well and tweaking it. So CryEngine works really well for like these smaller areas, but they want to go to an absurd nth degree in size. So cool.
Yay.
And they've been working with a lot of those new people that they've hired who have had a great CryEngine background on making the game client more functional and working better. And because Star Citizen is more complex than most games because it has the high detail and the big scope, it's pretty ambitious is the general feel that I got from his interview.
Yeah.
Then he's most excited about having a true persistent universe where you can go anywhere, do anything you want, and part of that approach is they're trying to be direct and targeted in what they want to do. So, cool. Like,
Yeah, very cool.
it's one of those things where it's like hard to visualize what he's doing, but like you gotta know he's had some sleepless nights where he's trying to figure crap
God.
out. It's like, how do I do this? Oh God, let me write down a wall of text and just see what happens. And okay, that kind of makes sense. We'll go with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and they've said, in the past that they're basically turning Crytek into like something it was never meant to be.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're basically like taking. It's like taking like a I don't know. I don't know enough about cars if this is like a legit analogy or not. But it's
Yeah,
like
because clearly I'm the best person to like back you up on this because I know dick all about
right,
cars too.
you're taking like a 4-cylinder like Dodge Neon and putting like a V8 turbocharge or whatever in it. I don't even know. I shouldn't even have made that analogy. I don't know anything about cars.
I know enough to feel embarrassed for your analogy for you.
All right, good.
All right,
At
cool.
least I made an idiot out of myself.
Well, you're in good company for that.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. So there was Sandy's Flight School again this week, which they had a flight club skit with Disco Lando, which was
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I don't want to say anything bad about it because I don't really hate it, but it was just kind of like, really, what the hell? But
It was
they always do
moderately
these weird.
clever.
They always do these weird skits like every single time. It's just
Yeah,
like
they really.
sometimes they
They
go
really
too
like
far.
their
This
weird.
one I felt was appropriate though.
This one wasn't bad, but yeah, some
Yeah,
of their previous skits have been really weird.
like the one where they're like juicing was.
Oh my god,
I'm like
that one was
way
weird.
longer than it needed to be, and it was really strange.
Super weird.
Yeah. So for this, she had a special account, the Better Than Ben, which was, a dreaded Aurora in that account. I'm like, that's, give her a super horde. It's she's gonna be taking on Ben. They did Vandal Swarm 3 waves, and she actually can hit and kill stuff now. So cool.
Yay!
Yeah.
Go Sandy.
Although the conspiracy theory I think is that we never actually see her. We only see the monitor killing stuff, and then we see cuts of her with the flight stick. We don't actually see her doing it, so that's the conspiracy theory that it wasn't actually her doing it, right?
Right, of course.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wouldn't be Star Citizen without dumbass conspiracy theory.
Oh man. Well, and then they went to their outro, and Gladius Free Flight is over. Aww, sadness.
Aw.
All the world is darkness and pain.
Is
And then they had the monthly report out they mentioned, which we're going to be talking about soon, and then 1.1a upcoming, which is in the PTU now, which we're also going to be talking about, and then the dogfighting footage they want people to send in, which is 30 seconds of dogfighting. And I was actually thinking about doing that one where you and I are doing Vandal Swarm and you ram me and kill me.
oh god, that would be great.
But then I realized I called you a bastard in that video, so they probably wouldn't use it.
They don't care. They,
Oh.
they don't care if you swear. They swear on some of their stuff. Like Chris swears all the time.
Well, that's true.
Chris swears at the forums and like when he goes to, like PAX East and South by Southwest. He swears at those all the time.
Well, maybe I'll submit us. I hope they're still doing it. They might have cut it off. I hope they didn't cut it off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to look into it.
Yeah. Anyway, and then they had the sneak peek, which was a Misk interior. I think that was the Starfarer, but like some people were saying maybe it's the Hull C. I think it's the Starfarer though because they had mentioned they were working on like the interior for that. So
That's what I kind of assumed it was the Starfarer, but
it looked like a kitchen. So
yeah,
like I didn't think the Hull C was that far along that they were actually doing the interior of it. So
yeah, neither did I.
yeah. Well, either way, it looked good. We can't really judge the ship much by one box square room, but it looked good. So
Yeah.
Then they had the Year 3 subscriber perks update for those of you that are subscribers, which I am not, and Paper is not. So
Yep.
we're kind of like whatever. But it's still good to talk about for people that want to be subscribers or are subscribers. So some of the perks you get are jump point. You get decorative stuff in your hangar, flare, whatever. You get access to the vault, which has Star Citizen concept art and work in progress art. VIP event flare, so every time there's an event, you get some swag in your hangar. So like PAX or South by Southwest, get a poster. There's the Subscribers Den, which is a subscriber-only chat room, which my history when I've gotten access to like special chat rooms because of donating money, they're usually not that great. Like, I'm just throwing that out there. It's really not that much better than general chat, typically.
Oh.
Then there was also the ability to submit 10 for the chairman questions and test pilot access. So you get a monthly allotment of rec, which is equivalent to about the amount you need to purchase an Anvil Hornet, one of the base Anvil Hornets, which isn't bad. That's a lot of rec actually. So cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then there are the like higher tiers of subscribers, ones that have been here longer, donate more money. Imperators, they also get 2 copies of all future monthly digital hangar flare items and event flare items, so you can get one for yourself and one to give whoever you want, or just keep
Ooh.
2. Ooh. You get the Vanduul Test Pilot Badge, which allows access to the Vanduul Scythe. So each month of subscription, you get roughly 24 hours of Vanduul Scythe flight time, which is pretty cool actually.
That is cool.
And then you also have Advanced Test Pilot Access. Your monthly allotment of rec goes up to enough to purchase an Anvil Super Hornet. So,
Ooh.
better. And then there's the 12-month Centurion perks where you get a Centurion 3 decal for your ship and you get your name in the game. They're not going to tell you where it is, they'll just put it somewhere in the game and you can find it. So,
On some plaque buried on Terra somewhere.
I'd assume it'd be like an NPC or maybe like a news story buried somewhere too.
Oh, I'd be. Oh man, then I'm gonna be really sad that I haven't been subscribing if that's the case.
Yeah.
If
Well,
I have an NPC named after me in the game,
here's the
I
thing.
will pay a lot of money for that.
The 12-month Imperator perks, you get the single use 15% off coupon for the store after 1 year of subscription. So, one of the bigger ships that cost a fortune, you get 15% off of that. Would be crazy.
Not bad.
The Imperator Year 3 decal for your ship, but then you can also create a pirate. So on Spider, they're having all these NPCs that you could name and give a backstory to and create, and CIG will edit it, wherever they need to. But you could create your own character then that you can then interact with in game on Spider, which is pretty cool.
I wish I was a subscriber now.
Are you gonna start subscribing? You could do it now.
Oh,
Get the 12-month perk.
too late. I've missed out on creating a pirate. My life is over.
No. I think if you started now, and then after 12 months, you'd be able to create a pirate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
You should send in like a customer service question on that, where it's like,
I will.
Yeah.
I will definitely do that because I really want to create a pirate.
What's his name gonna be for your pirate?
I don't know.
Nobody steal this. Nobody steal this.
Yeah. This is my idea. You guys back off.
Yeah, back off.
I don't know. I'd have to come up with something. I mean, I can't. Obviously, I would.
I got it.
Pirate Steve.
I got an inside joke. Butch Husky.
Butch Husky. Wow. That's a pretty inside joke right there.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Then there's the monthly report out for March. Oh my God. I'm just gonna assume most people haven't read the whole thing because I skimmed most of it because there's so much that they talked about. They've got all the various studios and like what each studio's worked on and like all the departments of each studio and what they're doing, and it's a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, and to be frank, like a lot of it is stuff that we've talked about.
Yeah, that's true.
Every week for the last 3 weeks in March.
Yeah,
4 weeks, whatever.
Yeah. For example, well, also I want to mention you should just go into the report because they got some cool screenshots and videos.
Yep.
So yeah. Although most of the videos people have already seen, like they have the South by Southwest video and the pre-flight Aegis Aegis Retaliator pre-flight video and all that. So
right, it's basically just a big March Katamari of what they did. The March.
That's a great way to describe this. Actually, good. I'm gonna steal that for the future. It's a Katamari.
I stole that from the forums.
Oh well,
I use that in the forums a lot.
All right, there we go. So Santa Monica, they've been working on the new landing mechanic, new damage system, moving physical weapons over to that physically based system we talked about. They've also been, doing Wreck, Retaliator, Gladius, Vanguard, 2-seater dogfighter ship functionality, and Pirate Swarm. They also have been helping with the FPS character models, modeling the Herald, the Merlin, the Xi'an Scout, and I almost did Jean.
I know.
The Xi'an Scout. I'm going to fix it eventually after I say it enough times. And the Vanguard. And then they're also doing a rework on the Constellation and the Freelancer. So, that's a lot. Just like one studio, that's a lot of stuff, guys.
It is. Quick side note, I still prefer Jean over Xi'an.
I don't know like the correct pronunciation. Like I almost want to say it would be Xeon, right? Because of the XI.
I don't know.
I don't know. And then Austin, their persistent universe team has been working on, radar dishes, solar panels for stations, hollow object viewing kiosks, medical display carousel, planetside props, the South by Southwest video, FPS characters, NPC stuff, building stuff, animations, cockpit textures, UI, mobiGlass. It's like Jesus.
Yeah.
Design team was also helping out with that South by Southwest video, thruster calculator tools, NPC AI design. Their engineering team was doing the video as well. It's like everybody, just assume everybody was helping with the dang South by Southwest video because apparently
Seriously.
everybody was. 1.1 patch, network improvement, server scalability. They had their networking summary that they talked about. They're working on creating a lot of tools for CIG for the various studios to use, so behind the scenes work. Live Ops QA team was working on 1.1, the FPS module, syncing standard testing practices and streamlining bug reporting. God, dude, there's like so much stuff.
I know.
And like this is just like two of the studios we've mentioned so far. Like,
Just keep rocking. Just keep rocking on, man.
so we got game support, live service support, fixing issues, IT ops. They're working on PAX East, South by Southwest, mocap, DevOps, building servers, BuildBot framework, launcher and patching system, database setup, fixing instability issues. And that's all that Austin and Santa Monica are working on. So like if you don't feel like your money is paying for quite a lot of stuff, hopefully this makes you realize exactly what all goes on in a month for these guys. Because you're paying and getting quite a lot out of it. Um, so then Foundry 42 in the UK, what are they working on? Well, they did the free flight, NPC interactions, AI development, mocap prep, level layouts for Squadron 42, the Arena Commander tutorial that they've mentioned, multi-crew lobby design, because it's not going to be the same as the current lobby design that we use right now. It can't be.
Right.
Audio, they're moving to the WWISE system, which I don't know what that's short for. Hopefully somebody will post it in the comments below. Hiring new people, FPS sounds, weapon sounds, art, they're working on weapons and, stuff for the Vandal fleet, stuff for ships. Their ship team specifically is working on the capital ships, modular components. They're also working on the Starfarer production. FPS, they're working on reorganizing all the FPS and gadgets to fit their new pipeline that they've put in place. Their VFX team is working on the Gladiator. The Human pipeline is pretty much done for all the stuff that they got for ships, but now they're doing the Vandal, which is going to be different. Squadron 42 environment effects are going in for the VFX team too, so Jesus. General bug fixing is going on. Characters are they're doing facial scanning, which I think they said there was like 200 plus cameras, 240. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot of cameras.
A lot.
Yeah. And then we've got environment art, which is building layouts, texturing, all that. Wow. So
Yep.
UK's doing a lot, and I know they're probably prepping for when Chris Roberts. Well, actually, she's out there by now. I think he said he was leaving Monday, so he's probably there.
Yeah, I think he's out there now.
Yeah. Then behavior, which the way they abbreviate it always makes me think Beaver, because they got BH, Beaver behavior. Their design team was working on, more South by Southwest video items. So all that stuff they showed off in the South by Southwest video, which had like all the stuff in it, they were working on that. So that includes like more locations and shops, like ArcCorp Terra, working on PlanetSide whiteboxing, putting a lot of effort into Terra because it's going to be a lot of zones and be huge in a major city when you go there. They've got more iterations on the shopping experience for the augmented reality. They've got more iterations on the Epic Hollow Table revamp, as it's been dubbed.
Yay.
Which, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know. We have said many times about how the Hollow Table is a piece of crap.
It's awful.
I don't think there's a single person I've ever read on the forums or heard talking that went, you know what I really love? The Hollow Table. And I can't even think of one instance of that. And if you like the Hollow Table, feel free to leave a comment below and just have everybody laugh at you. So, oh, I'm saying what we're all thinking. Also working on support for the mobiGlass. They've also got features in development such as the multiplayer hangars, planet-side locations, and they also had double monocle friendship breaking debate, whatever that means. What if I
I
have one
don't.
monocle in this eye and another monocle in this eye? It's not glasses. It's going to be separate monocles. Those are glasses. No, no, they're separate monocles. I'm betting that's the way it went, right?
I'm assuming that's pretty much how it went. I don't really know who comes up with this, but
That would be like the type of argument you and I would have.
it's true. We would.
Yeah.
We would totally have that argument.
Oh, yeah, not even a question.
I mean, it's obviously double monocles.
Yeah, I
So-
agree, actually. So I
damn
guess we wouldn't have that argument. Damn it, I should have just disagreed to be funny. Well, and then their engineering department's working on the Moby-Glass persistent universe stuff. They've also got multiplayer experience going on for Hangar, blah blah. Our department's working on the Nix whiteboxing. And then they also have some user interface stuff that's going in along with that holo table. So we'll see some changes to user interface apparently. Ilphonic. God, what is Ilphonic not working on? They're working on Sadaball, which we've mentioned, which
Yep.
hopefully will be cool. They're also adding 2 new weapons to the game, and they've gotten those in place. So I'm assuming that's like the crossbow and the sniper rifle. Those are the only 2 that I could think of that they didn't have previously, right?
Oh, I just actually saw a design post, not a design post, but some screenshots. I don't know if they were leaked or where they got them. I saw them on the Star Citizen subreddit of the sniper rifle. It looks really cool.
Oh,
Looks really
man.
cool.
That's the laser one, right?
Yeah.
Ah, so good.
Yeah. And then there was also pictures of the grenades and like the mobile shield thing.
Well, they showed some grenade pictures and equipment pictures when they did PAX, I want to say.
Yeah.
They were showing all the FPS
It might have
stuff.
been from that, yeah.
Could be, yeah. Well, and then they also have, I know that Ilphonic's got like a couple of the levels done, and they're just kind of working on bug fixes from this point on. And they're also doing white box work on future FPS levels, because obviously they don't want to have just the 2 that they got right now. And with that, the VFX people are working on the FPS weapons, gadgets, grenades, visual effects, all that stuff. And their animation is doing the mocap stuff, so, you know, prone animations, crouching animations, zero-G animations, blah, 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 blah. And I think actually, yeah, it looks like the sniper rifle is on the website in the monthly report.
That's
So,
just like
that's
the
probably-
like a I don't know, a model of it. They actually had the completely like skinned and fleshed out one
Oh.
in these pictures.
All
so
right,
it's even
I'm going to Reddit
higher
next.
detail.
After we're done, I'm just gonna browse Reddit for a while after we're done with the podcast. Dang. And then I know that Turbulent is working on electronic access in the rec system. I actually went out there and was looking at what I could buy with my rec. I'm not getting anything right now, but I'll probably do like different guns and things to try out for my ship. You know,
Right.
get a couple of mantises, get a couple of scorpions, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Just to see what they're like. They've also been redesigning the homepage. Who knows what that's going to look like? Because last time they redesigned the homepage, I didn't like it as much as the original.
Yep.
Like, I'm not a fan of their intro video thing.
I know. We talked about this, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had people disagree with us, which is fine.
Yeah.
I think there's good
I
and
mean,
bads to it.
it's okay that they're wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Then there's also the UX team, which is working on the UI components and all that. And they've also got the star map, which is coming along. Which
Yay.
I want to see an actual star map that we can then start planning like routes on, and like this is
Yep.
Vandal territory. This is where the Banu hang out. This is where pirates are located. That type of thing. It would be really
Exactly.
sweet to see. And then there's all the cross chassis upgrades. Like a couple of people had done forum posts on cross chassis upgrades and Reddit posts on cross chassis, but it sounds like they're actually trying to get something like that into the website itself.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's
That's
no
pretty
reason it should be
necessary.
hard for you to ever upgrade. You know,
No.
it just doesn't make sense. Then with that, they're also having new and major upcoming platform stuff happening, which was indeterminate. They didn't really say anything specific on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then we got Moon Collider too, and yeah, I know we're still talking about the March design post. Everybody, my God,
In case you're keeping track at home.
And yeah, so one of the big features actually with the Moon Collider was a lot of the navigation objects that they want to throw in, which sounds pretty cool and like are desperately needed in my opinion because it's so hard to describe where something's located when you don't have directions and you're in a 3D environment.
Yep.
It's like by the station, which station? By the station towards the star. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's
Right. It's behind us. Well, I'm flying
I'm flying.
to your right,
Yeah.
90 degrees to your right.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
mean behind us? You're behind me.
I almost feel like there needs to be like a galactic north, but if they add in the nav points, you can say towards nav point A, towards nav point B.
Yeah.
If they add that stuff, that would be really nice. Um, and they're also talking about fleshing out the job system and how it will integrate with the CryEngine job system from Kythera. So
Okay.
we'll see. And I know Ghost system's also going in for handling doors and all this other junk as well.
Right.
And with that, that's a lot.
There's a
Yeah,
lot.
that is like a really long post where they talk about all that going in. And then the community has also had a lot of stuff going on, but they didn't mention like Will leaving, which was I felt something that should have been mentioned. But whatever.
Yeah. I wonder if there might have been some bad blood there or something,
I,
because they haven't really mentioned it.
I doubt it. Like he didn't seem to be saying anything bad about him.
Yeah.
So
Who knows?
if even well, that could be also like I'm trying to get a new job and I don't want to talk crap about my old job before I'm hired at a new place type thing too. So
Yeah, 99% of the time, the smart thing to do is to not talk crap about your previous employer until you have a new job.
and then you talk crap about them all the time. Yeah. Well, and they also had some photos from South by Southwest they posted. They mentioned the Around the Verse April Fool's joke they did, which we did a video of last week where
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't like. I think there was some sort of portal time space dilation. Blah. I'm just gonna keep throwing out random physics
Well,
and science terms that make no
I
sense
was,
in context.
I was fooling around with connecting my cell phone to my microwave, so who knows?
I'm the only person that gets that Stein Gates reference. You know that.
There's no way. No, there's got to be at least one other person who watches this because we talk about anime fairly frequently. There has to be somebody else who gets that.
This is probably the only time we've mentioned Steins Gate, though.
That actually might be true.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. that's the March monthly report.
It's over.
Oh, it's over. Thank God. So, any overall reactions you wanna?
I mean, the thing is I knew so much of this already.
Yeah.
Not much was a surprise.
The only
I'm
thing
just
like
really
the,
happy to see the tremendous amount of work that's getting put into it.
the only thing is the navigation. I don't think I'd heard anything about previously.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
So I like the fact that they're doing nav points and nav buoys and like they're going to have an actual directional location set up where it's not just wandering around aimlessly.
Yep.
Otherwise, there'd be some sort of mods that people would build just to like add directions to the game. Like your Galactic North is that way, Galactic South is that way type thing. So,
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
yeah. Well, and let's cut over to 10 for the Chairman, episode 59. So 10 for the Chairman, episode 59 was 26 minutes and 55 seconds. Question 1 was about medic and surgeon skill progression. So it didn't sound like he'd had this fully fleshed out. Like they hadn't really talked much about how they're going to make it skill based like they are with weapons and mining and all that. I really hope they do. Like I want the basic stuff like using a med pack and using like a stim pack to be super easy.
Right.
But like repairing an arm, repairing a leg, and like attaching a cybernetic hand, that type of thing, I want to be skill based.
I agree. I would like to actually see them flesh this out more. And it sounded like, Chris was open to the idea, but it doesn't sound like I think it's going to be there when the PU comes out. It sounded more like, it'll be a future, addition to the game. Which, okay, as someone who likes to play...
There's already so much going in. But,
right, and as someone who likes to play a medic support role, I'm a little disappointed, but I understand at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like everybody's got to play a medic support role now, because you can go down and who's going to fix you.
Right,
so
that's true.
Yeah. Well, and then they also mentioned FPS weapon types. That's fairly straightforward. I mean, we've got
Right.
energy, we got ballistic right now. They want to add a couple more, like you'd mentioned, the electric shotgun, but that's still an energy weapon, you know. Um,
Right.
it seems like there's a bit more variety than there are with current fighter ships. I still say we need beam weapons though in the game. I don't care who you are, beam weapons are awesome. Just look at a White Star. And how badass were the beams from those gunships in Attack of the Clones? It's like one of the few cool moments from that movie is the beam
Yeah.
gun turret things in the gunships. So,
Very true. I too would like to see beam weapons. The weird. This question one was really weird to me because like the guy was looking for like I don't know, like lightning bolt guns and like
there's
stuff that you would find in like Ratchet and Clank. And I was like,
nothing wrong with
this.
that.
No, well,
Just
Ratchet and
not,
Clank has
yeah,
its place.
just not in Star
Ratchet and Clank is
Citizen.
a great game. This is Star Citizen. Stay away. You keep your weird guns out of here.
All I want to know is when do I get a lightsaber? I mean, you know,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
we have to have those.
that's just perfectly normal and natural weapon. You know, it's not impractical or anything like that.
No, of
No.
course not.
Shh. It's the future. You're telling me we don't have lightsabers by the time we can fly around in Hornets? Come on.
Right? Exactly.
Well, and then question 3 was the mining and resource gathering question, where they talked about that, which they've done design posts on mining and resource gathering. But what was cool was he tied it in with question 4, which was fabricating weapons and armor and ship parts. So it sounds like his overall plan is eventually to get to the point where we can be like mini moguls or like major moguls and
Yeah.
have like our own mining ships that go out, gather resources, come back, bring the materials to our factory, which works on making the parts, and then we sell the parts. And yeah, that'd be cool. Although,
Yeah.
to me personally, that factory ship you mentioned that they should add, where it was like, you build whatever you want, but it's like a low end. Like, I want to build 6 guns, or I want to build 6 suits of armor, instead of the I'm pumping out like hundreds of models and I sell them overall.
Yeah.
Uh, that's just me.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how it all plays out. That sounds like it's really far in the future. Like again, that won't be out when the PU releases. So
Oh, no way, yeah.
yeah,
Then we had Team Leader FPS, so for that they're going to be adding in commands like attack my target, cover me, blah blah, Rochambeau.
Yep.
Rochambeau. Um, then we have the design of the Herald. Why did we change it and make it not look asymmetric? And Chris Roberts was like, because it looks cooler.
right. It was
I'm
funny
like,
because
yeah.
Chris is like, because I never actually really looked at it before we released it, and I didn't like it.
Well, no, it
I
wasn't so
mean,
much they hadn't looked at it. It's just they hadn't seen the like better model that made him go,
yes,
"Oh, this is way better. Let's use that instead."
yeah, yeah, might be guys.
That said, I kind of agree with the sentiment of the guy where it's like, all the ships are symmetrical. It would be cool to have an asymmetric ship that,
Yeah.
because it's space. You don't need to be aerodynamic in space.
Nope.
It's, yeah.
You do not.
That said, I think it does look a lot better with the new look. It looks way better than the old one.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that being said, while you don't need to be symmetric in space, there is some concerns with g forces and inertia.
Uh,
So you got to be careful with the frame in that respect. So I'll just throw that little caveat in there. But anyway,
all right. Well, and then we have the Vanguard shields. This was about the fact that there are multiple shield generators on the Vanguard. And it sounds like that's the route they're going to be going with the larger ships. Is it's not just going to be one shield generator that covers the whole ship. They're going to have separate shield generators that handle sections, which I think adds a whole new interesting dynamic to the shield operator that they talked
yep.
about previously, right? Are you going to have multiple shield operators or one guy who controls multiple shield generators? My assumption is the second.
I would assume it's the second. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it'll be interesting then as well. Like if you're attacking a larger ship, you can target the rear shield generators maybe where they have less weapons and focus your fire on that or whatever. That could
Or,
be really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But then he could, like, drop a bunch of energy towards the rear shields because they keep getting attacked there.
I felt like it sounded like from what Chris said, and this was just the impression I took, was that you have a shield generator just for
That section.
that section, and you
Yeah.
can't. It didn't sound like you could extend the other shield generators to the other section. I don't know. I could be wrong on that though.
Well, there's all that stuff you can do with shield generators where you like reroute power to make them stronger, have a faster recharge, that type of stuff. So I'm
Right.
wondering if like you can do an overall power balance like you can right now with the systems where you add to weapon power and shield power and all that junk and engine
I
performance.
I'd prefer that, but I don't know where they're going with it, so we'll see.
Yeah. There was also the FPS inspiration, so they wanted to know a bit more about, what type of style of gameplay are you guys going for the FPS, and where's your inspiration for that style? And Chris had mentioned, he played Call of Duty, he played Battlefield, and like he liked the fact of Battlefield where you could go into ships and then get out of ships, and go into
Right.
vehicles and get out of vehicles, and that's kind of what they're going for. Um, I remember loving Battlefield 2, playing it a lot.
Oh yeah,
If not for all the server issues, I would have played it way more.
that was a really great game.
Yeah. So if they make it half as good as that or equally as good as that, I would probably really enjoy Star Citizen. You
Oh
know?
god.
Yeah. That said, lasers pew pew are better.
Yeah. And I was happy to see that he was talking about the Arma games as well,
Yeah.
which go for like ultra realism. Yeah, those are pretty fun. I played a little bit of those.
Yeah.
And they are super intense and super stressful.
No, no.
Right. As soon as you hear a gunshot, you just like drop to the
Drop,
deck. Like, where did
yeah.
that come from?
Well, they also have FPS armor types. They mentioned they're kind of redoing a lot of those, and they're making them look cooler. I know a lot of the March stuff was, oh, we're redoing FPS character modeling and equipment modeling and all that junk. Um, so like they want the various armor types, and we've mentioned this previously, to be better at different stuff. So
Yep.
like heavy armor, you can take more damage, carry more stuff, do more damage. Light armor, you can move faster, you don't eat up your stamina as quick, but you take less shots. And then medium armor is kind of like a jack of all trades armor, where you can move around, take some damage, dish out some damage.
Right.
Like you and I had said, well, let's do medium armor then for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what it plays like in game. Like from the sound of the way it's going to work, I don't want to be running around that much because
Nope.
I want my aim to be steady as steady as possible. So
Yeah.
maybe heavy armor is the way to go for me.
Yeah, you all have to be extremely methodical.
Yeah.
It sounds like in this game type for the most part. I mean, you can get away with some run and gunning,
Right.
sounds like, but for the most part, yeah, you'll have to be aimed steady to be accurate and useful.
Well, I want what I've always hated about most FPS game types, and to this day, that's why I hate games like Counter-Strike, is the jump in 360 no scope Twitch gaming. I hate that shit. It's like you would never do this in real life, right? So like
Oh,
the fact that death
yeah.
matters in Star Citizen, and that like we might have an hour-long game where it's actually trying to kill each other, and people are like more methodical and like careful instead of just, I'm gonna charge in the room and just spray in the corner and all of a sudden everybody's dead. Like I'm glad that crap's not gonna be in the game, frankly.
You're so salty.
I get so mad. It makes no sense. You never do that in real life. Like
See, that's why I
unless
love
you're
it.
an
I don't
Ottawa
care.
sergeant at arms, you never do that in real
Yeah.
life.
No, exactly. But personally, like I like those games and they have their place to me, and that's why I've played an absolute absurd amount of Counter Strike.
Yeah.
Is because I love that stuff, and I just love how ridiculous it is. And you're right, it's totally unrealistic. I just don't care. I
Hate
think
it.
it's fun as heck. And yeah, but I'm on the other hand, I do really like the games that go for realism. The Rainbow Six games, the Arma games, and sounds like Star Citizen's going to be more along those lines. So I'm totally fine with that too. I like both. They both have their place.
Like I want it to be super impressive if you 1v4 a team, right?
Yes.
I don't want it to be, oh, he just ran in there and twitch shot like 4 times and got 4 kills. That's dumb. you know? Like oh, he's really smart, he's using tactics, he kicks out 4 people solo, he's a badass. Not, oh, he just twitched. Whatever.
It doesn't
cares?
happen as much in Counter Strike as you think, but yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, and then their question 10 was NPC control in FPS, which was, kind of team lead FPS as well. It was kind of, there you go,
Right.
same general. Yeah. You can control your people. Congrats.
Right. Good job.
Yeah. So let's talk about patch 1.1.1 because damn,
Yeah.
you read the patch notes about what they've put out on the persistent test universe.
Yep, I did. Yep.
So, just for anybody who hasn't read it, I would say the big things that they're coming out with are the two-seater ships, your Super Hornets, your Cutlasses, and was it Mustang as well as a two-seater? I think it Mustang. Or,
No,
or am I going
Mustang's not a
crazy?
Mustang.
Was it one of the variants a two-seater? I thought so. There's a third ship, but I don't remember which it is.
Ah, crap. I can't remember. Now you got me confused because I'm like, wait, was the Mustang too? I
Well,
don't think it is.
oh, the Gladiator, because Gladiator is going to be flight ready. So they're
Yeah.
making the Gladiator flight ready. The Cutlass Black and the Super Hornet, those are your three that will have a gunner seat functionality in place. It will be in free flight, but I'm not sure if it will be in anything else. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So you'll have gunners finally that we can try out, which is huge. Multi-crew way earlier than we were expecting by like what, 4 months?
Yeah. Oh, I did see some dudes who managed to get in the gunner seat of a gladiator in Vandal Swarm.
Oh,
In-
did somebody just like?
yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
it's horrendous. You can't do anything in the gunner seat. It's like
Aw.
there's the aiming. There's no pips. It's all just like you have a reticle and you're just praying you like could see your target and try and hit it. Like it's horrible.
Oh God.
But anyway, you could get in it at least.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. So I know they're also doing ejection audio for 300s and Hornets now, so they'll have like some, um, you know, ejection audio changes that will go with that. So like it'll actually make noise when you eject. You'll also be able to do multiplayer user interface changes. Like you'll have custom landing modes. There's also custom key bindings for ESP toggling that they're putting in, some stuff, lead indicators. They're adding like target focus, all this stuff for like quality of life UI changes, it sounds like. And then there's a bunch of balances and tweaks going in with this too. So like
Yep.
Vandal Swarm co-op rec, which I mentioned earlier, that's going to be like I think reduced. Like it seems like it's a little too easy right now. Um, and like pilots with a lower score relative to the average will get less wreck from the pool. So sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crap, I'm screwed.
I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And then they also added audio for the Vandal dropping out of warp, so I'm looking forward to what that is. All I know is every time the Vandal drop out of warp for like the first wave, there's this big lag spike and nothing happens.
Right.
They're adjusting power plant explosion color to match the thruster color for the Gladius. AI collision for Aegis ships and warning and all this stuff. Sledge 2, I think, is getting an upgrade. Like, they weren't happy with the damage it was putting out, so I don't know if they're doing much. It sounds like they're reducing the rate of fire, but they're increasing, like, the overall power to it, so see what happens.
Interesting.
Yeah, and some environment changes to, like, the hangars and camera. And they're adjusting spawn positions for flares and ships and the hangars as well. Yeah, lots of quality of life stuff that most people won't even probably notice. Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hopefully people are enjoying it. I'm not gonna do the PTU stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't mind waiting the extra week or two. Not too huge of a deal for me.
Well, yeah, if it was like, oh, you can do multiplayer with the deterrent in actually multiplayer games instead of just free flight, I'd be all about it.
Right.
But if it's just free flight, we'll try it when it comes out, you know?
Exactly.
I do love that they still have a lot of those same bugs that have been in play for like 6 months now. Like when you're flying along and then like you kind of go at an angle and then you suddenly turn and you're shooting the whole time and like your weapons fire is not coming from your actual guns but from like an angle at the side.
Right.
That's still in there. You still
That
can't
happens
equip.
to me a lot.
You still can't equip that combustion pistol even though you can buy it. And like you could like have that pair of eyes things. Like there's been a couple of Reddit posts where it's like there's no head, there's no body, and there's just a pair of eyes where the pilot should load.
Yep.
Those are hilarious.
See, those bugs I don't care about because they're great.
Yeah, like I was playing Vandal Swarm and I was playing with this Aurora like wingman, and like when I died, I looked at him and he had no head. He was just flying around without a head. It was like hilarious to me. It was like the funniest thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think also there's some issues with the Gladius damage states. They're not like showing the damage innards like they wanted, and like it's detaching sections like without showing those damage parts. So
Right.
damage isn't working exactly like they wanted it to, which makes me sad. Same with the Gladiator, because you know that's going to have the same system as the Gladius does for their damage states. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's just a work in progress for the next 2 years, basically.
yeah, I mean, I really like the shield animation when you shoot the shields and you've got that burst effect where the shields like come out from where the impact point is. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
But, like the hull damage, I was not that impressed with because it doesn't look the way their video had it for at all, frankly. So
Right.
hopefully it's just a matter of like tweaking it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So I already know the answer to this, but you got anything non-Star Citizen related you want to mention?
Yeah, because I just saw it today. Star Wars Rebellion got released on GOG.
We only mentioned it like 6 times that we wanted it released on GOG in like previous podcasts.
I know. So I was super happy today when I saw it and immediately bought and downloaded. It's only $6 US.
Are you serious?
So,
That's so
yeah,
cheap.
dude. I know.
For like one
so
of the
good.
best games of all time, it's so cheap. Wow.
I know. I know. I
GOG
cannot
is
wait.
good old games, GOG.com, for anybody that wants to pick it up, by the way.
Yeah.
They got like
it's-
a lot of the old Star Wars games. Like I got X-Wing Alliance on there, or X-Wing TIE Fighter.
and it runs great in Windows 7. I've had no issues.
Oh, I'm on
Smooth,
Windows 8.
seamless.
I'm on Windows 8.1. I'm so screwed. It's not
I
gonna
mean, the
work
only
at
thing
all.
you have to kind of deal with is obviously it didn't have any options to adjust its graphics. It has one setting, so
Maybe we should do a mod.
that would be nice.
Mod
but,
Rebellion like they did with Homeworld recently.
yeah,
Update
exactly.
the graphics. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
but-
Disney could actually release a Star Wars game that doesn't suck.
I mean, to be honest, the graphics aren't that bad. I mean, like I came back to it and I was like, yeah, this
It
isn't
was
that
like-
bad.
It was probably top of the line back in the day when it came out.
Right, exactly.
My
So-
favorite Rebellion memory is still the first time I tried playing it with a friend of ours who'd come over and like we popped it in. We were like, let's play as the Empire. Cool. Let's go attack this planet. Cool. And we had a galleon, a star galleon. We didn't know it didn't have weapons on it, right? So we hyper in and you know, the enemy fleet is just like an X-Wing squadron or something that starts attacking our star galleon. And I'm like, I can't figure out how to attack. Sitting there reading the manual, you know, looking all over. And then finally, like, we notice, oh, it doesn't have any guns on it. Whoops. And then we ran away. It took a really long time to figure that out. Like an hour of our time was just sitting there with the game paused trying to figure out how to attack.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite games. So I'm so happy it's back.
I would say the second favorite memory is that game you and another friend of ours where you tried to recreate the Battle of Endor, but you had way, way more ships than you should have had.
Probably.
Oh, you had like 9 times the ships you should have had because you had all those freaking Corellian Corvettes.
Hey, we had to make it somewhat fair.
That was not fair at all. You had too many ships at that point. It was ridiculous. God.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else for video games. I didn't play a lot of video games this week. I was pretty busy.
Well, I know Elite Dangerous came out on Steam for anybody that wanted to pick it up. I think it's like 50 or
Oh, did it?
$60, something like that. So
I just don't have time for it. I'm all in on Star Citizen.
Well-
Elite Dangerous looks great, but
like, and I've looked at the gameplay, but like, from what people are doing in the game, it really doesn't look that fun to me. Because literally all they're doing is flying around in like these barren environments that all exactly could be identical,
right.
with like certain slight changes, and like attacking people and like hauling cargo, and that's it. Like, it doesn't seem like there's that much going on, and they can't even get off their ships and like do stuff. Like, If you watch the trailer for Elite Dangerous, it's like these dudes walking around and they go up onto like it's everything that like Star Citizen's actually going to have was their trailer. And then really all the gameplay is you just fly around in your ships and that's it.
Oh,
You know,
that
but it's like,
yeah,
oh, we're putting on helmets, we're walking up the ramp, you know, we're waving to people, all this junk, and you know, it's
right,
like, no, we're not actually doing that. You're just in a ship, and that's it.
right.
You're not getting out. You're not interacting with other people. You're not doing any of that.
See, and
Sorry.
there's already plenty of that. I mean, there's the X series of games and
There's
tons of
Eve.
others.
You can play
Yeah,
Eve. You know.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, I won't get it. So.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a good game, but like, I feel like I'd get bored because it doesn't seem like it's anything groundbreaking.
Right.
That said, it does have a huge universe with like hundreds of identical, or I'm sorry, millions of identical star systems to explore.
Right. I mean, I think
So
is it procedurally generated or something? I don't
I don't
remember.
remember, but it
Yeah.
you know there's a lot to the environment, but all the environments are the same. So what do you care?
Right.
So oh
Right. That's true.
yeah, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for
Yeah.
bragging on Elite Dangerous. Sorry,
Bring it on.
sorry, not sorry. Is that how it goes? Yeah. Well, that is it for this week's episode of the Flight Deck. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.